All right, let's dive into something pretty incredible today. We're going to unpack an ancient guide for navigating, well, for navigating life itself. And this isn't just some interpretation. It comes straight from the Buddha's own words in the Saṃyutta Nikaya. Think of it as a roadmap, one that lays out two very, very different destinations.
You see, according to the Buddha, every journey we ever take starts from one of two places. It's a fundamental fork in the road. On one side, you have avijja, or ignorance, which is kind of like trying to find your way in a thick fog. And on the other side, there's vijja, knowledge, or clear-seeing. It's like the sun burning that fog away. Where you start determines everything about the path you're going to walk.
So, what happens if we start from that place of ignorance, from inside that fog? Well, it doesn't just lead down any random road. It pulls us onto a very specific one, the wrong path, or maccamago. And as you can see here, it's not just a single misstep. It's a chain reaction, a cascade, basically a downward spiral of unskillful states. It all kicks off with wrong view. You're just not seeing the world clearly. And that distorted view, well, it naturally gives rise to wrong intention. Think about it. If you wrongly see someone as a threat, you might form an intention to hurt them. That intention then fuels wrong speech, which leads to wrong action, wrong livelihood. You see the pattern? Each step just follows logically from the last, digging you deeper and deeper into a really messy, unskillful state.
But what about that other starting point? What about knowledge? The path that springs from vijja is what the Buddha called the Noble Eightfold Path. And this is no downward spiral. This is a systematic, clear way forward, a path that leads directly to clarity and ultimately to freedom. And here it is. This is the complete, actionable map. The really powerful thing is that the Buddha didn't just name these steps and leave it at that. He gave a super detailed breakdown for each and every one. So let's actually walk through that breakdown, pulling it straight from his analysis in the Maggasaṃyutta.
Okay, so step one, it all begins with right view. Now, this isn't about blind faith. It's about seeing reality with absolute clarity. It's basically the diagnostic step. You have to understand the fundamental problem, suffering. You have to know what causes it, realize that it can end, and see the exact path that leads to its end. So once your view is clear, your intention just naturally starts to line up with it, right? Intention is all about cultivating motivations that are actually helpful. It's a conscious choice to aim yourself toward letting go, toward goodwill instead of anger, and toward compassion instead of causing harm. From our inner world of intention, we move to how we show up in the world. And first up is right speech. This is all about using our words skillfully. It's asking ourselves, are we speaking the truth? Are our words bringing people together or tearing them apart? Is what we're saying kind? And, is it even useful? Next is right action, and this is all about our physical behavior. It's a really clear ethical framework. Protect life, respect what belongs to other people, and act with integrity and responsibility in our relationships. At its core, it's about living in a way that just doesn't cause harm.
Now, the path doesn't just stop when you go to work in the morning. Right livelihood takes these same ethics and extends them right into your career. It simply means that you earn your living in a way that's honest, that's ethical, and that doesn't add to the suffering of others. Okay, now we get to the engine of the whole path, right effort. This is the active, intentional work. I like to think of it like being a gardener of your own mind. You're constantly working to prevent the weeds of negativity from sprouting. You're pulling out the ones that are already there. You're planting the seeds of positivity, and you're tending to them so they can really grow.
Right, mindfulness. This is the quality of awareness that really makes all the other steps even possible. It's the practice of paying attention on purpose to your direct experience, your body, your feelings, your thoughts, as it's all happening in the present moment, without getting totally lost in judgment or mental chatter. And finally, all of these different factors, they come together and culminate in right concentration. This is the practice of unifying the mind, reading it to states of really profound meditative calm and stability. It's from this deeply collected, quiet place that true transformative insight has a chance to arise. So that's the path. But there is one more crucial element that actually makes walking it possible. And the Buddha gave a really surprising and incredibly powerful teaching about what the single most important condition for this entire journey really is. So the scene is set with Ananda, who was the Buddha's longtime attendant. He goes up to the Buddha and he offers his big insight. He says, "Venerable Sir, I think I've got it. Having good friends and companions on the spiritual path, that's got to be half of the whole journey." And It sounds pretty reasonable, right?
But the Buddha's correction is immediate and really strong. Not so, Ananda. Not so. He says that these supportive, wise relationships, they aren't just half of the holy life, they are the entire holy life. This is the foundation that the whole path is built on. The point is, you don't walk it alone.
So this leads to a pretty fundamental question, one that a group of monks actually asked the Buddha directly. With all this effort, all this practice, what's the point? Why are we even walking this path? What's the ultimate destination? And the Buddha's answer is so direct and so practical. You practice this path for one reason, for the full and complete understanding of suffering. It's not about trying to escape life. It's about understanding its challenges so deeply, so thoroughly, that you're no longer controlled by them. And what happens when you actually achieve that full understanding? The path leads to the complete extinguishing of the three poisons: greed, hatred, and delusion. The freedom that comes from this is so profound that the texts actually give it a special name: Amatam, the deathless. This makes it really clear that the path isn't meant to be a constant uphill battle. In fact, the Buddha used this beautiful metaphor to explain it. Just like the great river Ganges naturally flows eastward to the sea, anyone who cultivates this path will naturally, inevitably, flow towards nibbana. It's the natural conclusion of the practice. And that brings this entire ancient teaching right back to us, right here and right now, at this very moment, with this very thought, with this very action. Which path are you walking?